Pregnancy isn't just life-altering, it is a serious medical risk. Women put their bodies and lives on the line, yet some people act like it's just a minor inconvenience. Hello fam, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing good. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Let's have a look at these videos.
26-year-old teacher Jess Cronshaw took her own life after suffering from severe morning sickness. This is so sad. I've never heard anything like this. Jess was 28 weeks pregnant with her first child. She was in a relationship with the baby's father, and they were both looking super forward to the baby's arrival. Soon after learning of her pregnancy, though, Jess started getting super sick and was eventually diagnosed with something called hyperemesis gravidarum. For those who don't know what that is, it's like morning sickness times 100. I mean, people get very ill from this and oftentimes have to be hospitalized. So Jess goes to the doctor where she gets her diagnosis, and the OB gives her some anti-nausea medication to take. Later, though, Jess is talking to her midwife, and the midwife said don't take it, it could harm the baby. So Jess stopped taking the medication. Before she died, she said she felt like nobody was listening to her. She said, quote, "Honestly, it's like the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. The constant nausea, there's no relief from it. I just spend my days in bed. It's just horrible." On November 14th, 2022, Jess was found at her home in the UK from an apparent suicide attempt. She was rushed to the hospital where doctors delivered the little baby, who was only 28 weeks gestation, but she died 4 days later.
Hyperemesis gravidarum is a severe pregnancy complication that so many people overlook. It's not just bad morning sickness. It can lead to dehydration, malnutrition, organ damage, and even hospitalization. Some women can barely function, yet people downplay the risk of pregnancy like it's no big deal.
That is the cry of a mother who gave birth to twins and lost her kidney. Presently, she's suffering from kidney failure. So I am making this video to create awareness because she said something caused it. This lady is suffering from kidney failure presently after she gave birth to her twin babies. According to the story, while she was pregnant, she had high blood pressure. She went to the hospital. She was diagnosed of preeclampsia. She did not know what that meant, and she had no idea that what she was diagnosed of could actually cause her kidney failure. All the doctor told her was her blood pressure was high, that she needed to terminate the pregnancy, in which she asked the doctor if there was something she could do about it. And the doctor said yes, that if she could regulate the blood pressure, then she can continue with the pregnancy. And she did. They gave her medication, she started taking them. And with time, she went back to the hospital. The doctor told her that her blood pressure has normalized and she's finally okay, so she can proceed with the pregnancy. Not properly informing this lady that this preeclampsia could actually cause her to develop kidney failure. She continued with the pregnancy. Time for delivery came. She delivered the baby, and then her body started to swell up. On reaching the hospital again, that was when they told her that she actually now has eclampsia. It is no longer preeclampsia, it is now eclampsia, and it has finally made her kidney fail. So she's in the hospital presently fighting for her life.
Preeclampsia is a life-threatening condition that proves that pregnancy is not just some natural duty women should be forced into. This results from high blood pressure during pregnancy, and it comes with complications such as seizures, coma, organ failure, stroke, even death. Yet, people act like pregnancy is just about having baby, when it's actually a major medical risk.
If you are a woman, you enter the labor room, you come out, you raise your child grows up without any issues, and you are okay. Give God the glory, because you don't know what God has done for you. You see this woman in this video right now? After listening to her story, it actually triggered me. Like, I shed tears. So I'm here to share her story with you for awareness sake. As you can see in the video, the first video shows that she has her 2 hands and her 2 legs complete, right? On the second clip, she no get hand again, she no get leg. But the both of them like all gone. She's now an amputee. Now what happened to her? This woman had kids before. She had 2 children before. She now got pregnant for her 3rd child. It happened that the 3rd child was now twins. So back in 2023, she gave birth to those twins. Her name is Dish, by the way. After giving birth to the twins, the next day she was discharged and she went home because she did not have any complications. She was okay and she gave birth like naturally. You know how they say like Hebrew women. So everybody was happy. She went home. After getting on, I think a few hours later, she started feeling severe pains around her stomach or something. So she called her midwife to tell the midwife that, oh, she's having this pain. And the midwife was like, it's a normal thing. Like, there's this pain you're supposed to have. Like, a woman is supposed to feel those kind of pains after delivery, which she was aware of because she had 2 kids before the twin. But she said in her mind of minds, she knew that that pain was not normal because it was more severe. It was worse than what she felt when she gave birth to her other children. So she knew that there was just something wrong. So she told her husband and her family, and then they took her to the hospital. On reaching the hospital, she explained her problem. Instead of these doctors to attend to her, of course, they said the same thing that the midwife said, that, oh, it's probably because she just gave birth. And this person is in pain. She was even vomiting. It was not just the pain, oh, she started throwing up. They still insisted that it was that thing, the delivery that she had. Okay, few hours passed, they still did not attend to her. What they now did next was that they took her into a room, I think a ward, and left her there, probably waiting for her to calm down on her own. Meanwhile, this thing did not calm down. Instead, the matter became worse. At the time, the doctors now finally decided that, oh, let's pay attention to this woman. It happened that this woman had sepsis. For the first time in my life, I have never heard what, I don't know what sepsis is. I heard sepsis today. That there's something called sepsis, and it is an infection. So at the time they found out that she actually had that sepsis, it has already spread around her entire body. It's just that I cannot post the pictures here or the videos. See, if you see it, you will cry. What this sepsis, and do you know what it did to this woman? Her hands from here downwards became very black. You know how you put goats on the fire and roast the goats, how that place used to be black? That is how her legs and arms were. Some were even peeled, like when you finish roasting yam and you peel it, you know, it's be giving this whitish blackish stuff. That's how it was. In just few hours, you don't even enter 24 hours. The next thing the doctor did was they immediately put her in coma, like by themselves. Nobody say she entered coma and then put her for coma, because they didn't want her to see that her condition. And then they decided to speak to the family first and like, okay, this is the situation, that with what is happening now, the bones, the joints is already numb, like it is dead. There's nothing they can do. They cannot resurrect it.
Yes, sepsis after childbirth is another deadly risk that people don't talk about enough. Women can develop life-threatening infections after giving birth, and complications from such infection can lead to organ failure, amputation like we already saw, and death if the infection is not treated quickly. Pregnancy and childbirth are not just beautiful experiences for everyone. They can be extremely dangerous. Let's have a look at the comment section. Pregnancy is such a life-altering thing, and the fact that they are taking away our right to choose, we have to fight back with everything we have. Women hold the power. We bettered literally the world. That's what happens when everyone exerts their opinion on what women do. People are mad if you terminate, and mad when you don't. Leaves women in a trap of feeling like nothing they will do will be okay. In case anyone is wondering what she went through, I had hyperemesis gravidarum, and it was so bad I had to have prescribed IVs just to stay alive, and after I gave birth it caused heart damage and POTS. It's no joke. I have an old version of hyperemesis, and at times if I get sick 24-hour bug, I have to go to the hospital because I will be dehydrated and have seizure like shakes from hours of puking. 16 hours is my record. I had this. I couldn't swallow my own saliva. I had to walk around with a bottle to spit out. I was so weak, couldn't eat. We need more research. I prayed for death every day. I didn't want to wake up. I was 31, happily married, always dreamt of being a mom. Yet, I almost got an abortion due to HD. You can't imagine unless it's you. It is a very difficult pregnancy complication to handle. It's called hyperemesis gravidarum. It's the worst feeling in the world. I had it with my second. It feels like dying every day. Doctors need to take this seriously. I had hyperemesis, and I honestly used to beg God to just let me go to sleep and not wake up every single day. I honestly think I have PTSD from my pregnancy. It was the worst time of my life. Women are literally out here dying during pregnancy and childbirth. Women need to be taken seriously. I think the system intentionally downplays the risk of pregnancy. They focus more on the beauty of pregnancy and chose to ignore the struggles of pregnancy, just not to scare women away. Their focus is for women to partake more. They want more women to get pregnant and increase the population. I've had hyperemesis gravidarum in my pregnancy. I love my child more than anything in the world, and I won't ever regret having her. But I will never get pregnant again because of this severe vomiting. I swear, it's the most miserable I've ever been in my life. I suffered it for over 2 trimesters. I was underweight pregnant. My baby came out underweight as well, but thank God she easily caught on with weight and has been healthy since. But I just can't go through all that again.
And I told him, if you cannot be nicer to me, like I cannot emotionally handle you in this delivery room. And he had texted me and was like, this is your 30-day notice to move out. And I'm like, wow.
And you were pregnant?
I was still pregnant. I was due in like 3 weeks.
And where are you supposed to go?
Well, absolutely. And I said, how dare you? Like, you are a monster. And so my next appointment with my OB, we made a plan, a safety plan for me. You know, it was written in my chart that he was not to come in. And that was probably one of the hardest decisions that I've ever made in my life. I want women to know that you have to do what's best for you. And to this day, I do not regret that at all.
That was the right decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm crying because I had 2 horrible births because, you know, the dad was in the room and
it's horrible. Like,
because when you're birthing, you need that safe space. You made the right decision.
Yeah, it's so hard. Yeah, strong women are forged in fire.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of men are not making the pregnancy journey easier for women. Pregnancy is already a difficult one we are dealing with, but men are making it worse for us. Let's have a look at the comment section. I betted 4 children and he was never with me emotionally. It took living after 27 years of marriage to realize I had invested 100% of myself and he had never invested any of himself emotionally. In fact, he had abandoned and neglected me when I needed a partner and a friend the very most. My son's father was abusive to me during my first pregnancy. He was in the room when my son was born, and about 3 days after I gave birth, he physically abused me. I wish I wouldn't have had him in the room. I remember being so tense, and it was such a hard labor experience emotionally. The only people that should be near a woman in labor are supportive, peaceful helpers. If close family, including a partner, cause any form of stress, they can sabotage an entire birth. Women's labor stalls when they don't feel safe enough to give birth because it's a woman's most vulnerable experience. She needs internal power, and that comes through security. They wait until you are at your weakest moment to kick you down in the dirt, like the belly-crawling split-tongue serpents they are. But love yourself and pull yourself up. Level up and never look back, especially if you don't have to, and they will pay for their deeds without you having to lift a finger. I'm sure this wasn't the first time he was abusive. How about empowering women to walk away the first time a boyfriend is abusive and not burying her head in the sand and saying, I can change him. He won't do it again. He loves me. And not to marry a man who has zero respect for you, wants to control your every move, and to use birth control until he proves his husband/father material. I've known so many women who admitted after their marriage blew up that they knew he was a jerk, abusive, but they wanted to have a big wedding and a fairy tale. Empower women to be okay with being alone. There is really nothing wrong in being alone. Do not kill yourself because you want to be with a man. You're better off being alive and single than dying in that abusive relationship. My baby daddy kept trying to leave me between moving from the betting suite to our regular room. Mind you, I could hardly walk due to a really bad tear. He kept yelling about wanting to get food because he was so hungry. I told him to please stay because I need him. Then he said I should even order him some food on DoorDash. I had never been more stunned, bleeding, crying, and holding a 9-pound baby boy that just wrecked me on the way out. My first birth, he made me make him a sandwich during a 3-day active labor that ended in an emergency C-section. My second birth, his whole family showed up. His niece ate my after-birth spoonful of porridge when I had not eaten. And 24 hours, his mom posted my moment on Facebook announcing my delivery against my wish. 1 year later, I found out he was cheating on me with multiple women after he begged me to have a second child. Cohesive manipulation is unbelievable with a narcissistic behavior. 1 year after that, he began hitting me and the abuse got worse. Men don't deserve women, children, families, or even the slightest bit of affection, concern, or sympathy. If women treated men even 20% as cruelly as the average man has historically treated women, there would be riots in the streets. And that's truth. That's fact. This lady is talking about how she did not allow her man into the delivery room. Let's read her comment. I did this. My son's father made my blood pressure spike and I was already pre-eclamptic. My blood pressures were 299 and my doctor made a decision for me. She said he is absolutely not welcome in the delivery room because I could have died. The hospital security took his picture and kept a lookout for him and he was not invited. I lost 2 liters of blood giving birth through cesarean section because I had over 80 fibroid tumors in my uterus at the same time. It was very traumatic for both me and my baby, who spent a month in the NICU afterwards. And I had to have 2 blood transfusions in the hospital. I didn't even get to hold my newborn until 3 days later. Always trust your care provider advice and use common sense and protect yourself and your precious baby no matter what. That was a very traumatic experience and I'm glad she made it out alive. If you would love to watch more videos like this, please click this video to watch a man expose another man for hating the woman he was on a date with. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.